Welcome to the Soul Shed. Here, simple stories open ancient doors. I am Edenlin, light-bearer, keeper of stories, watcher of the inner flame. For those who feel lost, walk with me. Your soul already knows the way. The Last Ember, a Soul Shed story. The storm didn't arrive suddenly. It crept. It began in Rowan's chest days before the clouds gathered, before the sky bruised purple, before the first drop of rain hit the pavement. It was a slow tightening, a quiet pressure, like someone was cinching a belt around his ribs one notch at a time. He ignored it at first. He always did. Life had taught him to keep moving, not out of strength, but out of habit. Strength was something other people projected onto him, because he didn't fall apart in public. But endurance and strength are not the same thing, and Rowan knew the difference intimately. By the time the real storm rolled in, he was already worn thin. The city streets glistened with rain, neon lights smearing into long streaks across puddles. People hurried past him with umbrellas and purpose, their footsteps sharp and certain. Rowan walked without direction, letting the rain soak through his clothes until he couldn't tell where the cold ended, and he began. He didn't want to go home. Home was too quiet, too still. Silence had a way of amplifying the thoughts he tried to outrun. So he kept walking. Eventually he found himself beneath an old railway bridge, the kind that hummed when trains passed overhead, vibrating through the bones of the structure like a heartbeat. The air smelled of wet concrete and rust. It was dim, but not dark. Safe, but not comforting. He sat down, not because he wanted to rest, but because his legs simply refused to carry him any further. He folded his arms over his knees and let his head drop, not in defeat, but in surrender to the moment. He didn't cry, he didn't break, he didn't have the energy for theatrics, even private ones. He just breathed, slowly, unevenly, like someone learning how to do it for the first time. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. Time felt slippery. And then, somewhere in the quiet, he felt it. A flicker, a tiny ember of warmth in his chest. Not hope. Hope was too bright, too demanding. This was smaller, humbler, a spark that refused to die, even after everything life had thrown at him. It wasn't strength, it wasn't resilience, it wasn't some heroic inner power, it was stubbornness, a quiet, unglamorous refusal to give up. Not yet, the ember whispered. Rowan lifted his head. The rain still fell in sheets beyond the shelter of the bridge, but it no longer felt like a threat. More like a curtain between him and the rest of the world, a thin veil he could step through when he was ready. He stood slowly, his muscles stiff from the cold. He stretched his fingers, feeling the blood return to them. The world hadn't changed. His problems hadn't evaporated. Nothing had magically resolved. But something inside him had shifted. Not much, just enough. Enough to take one step, then another. He walked out from under the bridge and into the rain. It soaked him instantly, but he didn't flinch. The storm didn't feel like an enemy anymore. It felt like a companion. Rough, loud, imperfect, but moving forward all the same. Rowan didn't rise because he felt strong. He rose because life hadn't beaten the last ember out of him yet. And sometimes that tiny ember, that stubborn spark, is all a person needs to make it through the night. Thank you for listening to The Soul Shed. Until next time, take care of your light, and when it feels dim, come back. We'll be here. Because the soul remembers what the mind forgets.